He's a very impressive young man. He's poised, he's calm, he's smart. You can tell that he's been.
Everything's changed.
The Browns.
Oh, Andrew Berry coming in did its whole change. The owner being willing to do all these things.
Finally,
coaching.
Finally.
Proud of you.
Cool.
Really, really nice job.
You're not fully proud, kinda.
I'm
kinda proud.
Look, for your first time, was it perfect? No, but you made plays, you operated like.
The Cleveland Browns just made one of the boldest moves in recent NFL history, and most fans didn't even realize what it really meant. Overnight, an entire offensive line was wiped off the roster. No warnings, no slow rebuild, just gone. At first glance, it looked like a brutal house cleaning, but when you dig deeper, this wasn't about the linemen at all. This was about one man, Shadore Sanders. From the moment he arrived in Cleveland, Sanders has been surrounded by hype, criticism, and constant debate. Some call him raw genius, others call him a project who's nowhere near ready. But here's the shocking part. The Browns just sent a message loud enough for the whole league to hear. They aren't just protecting Sanders, they're betting the future of the franchise on him. And if this gamble doesn't work, it could cost more than just games. It might cost jobs, reputations, and the entire direction of the team. One day, Shadore Sanders was standing behind 5 linemen tasked with protecting him. The next day, every single one of them was gone. Not rotated, not benched, cut from the roster completely. 5 starters erased overnight as if they were never part of the plan. Fans were stunned. Analysts called it extreme. Even inside the locker room, whispers started, "What just happened?" At first glance, it looked like a desperate front office move, a quick fix after a sloppy preseason outing. But if you looked closer, it was something very different. Andrew Berry, the Browns' general manager, wasn't cleaning house to patch holes. He was making a statement. He saw what Sanders was facing: missed blocks, broken protection, unnecessary hits, and instead of blaming the rookie quarterback, Berry pointed the finger somewhere almost no GM ever does, at the veterans around him. That decision sent shockwaves across the league. In a sport where rookies are almost always held accountable for their struggles, Sanders was left untouched. While 5 veterans packed their bags, the rookie stayed exactly where he was, and in doing so, the Browns flipped the script. This wasn't just a roster shuffle, it was a declaration. The Browns weren't asking Shedeur to prove he belonged. They were telling the entire team he does. Normally, when a rookie quarterback struggles, the story is simple: he wasn't ready. Coaches pile on, veterans shake their heads, and fans call for patience or a replacement. The quarterback takes the blame, and the cycle repeats until he either proves himself or disappears. But in Cleveland, that script just got torn apart. Instead of letting Shadore Sanders take the heat, Andrew Berry flipped the spotlight. The problem wasn't the rookie, he decided. It was the veterans who failed to protect him. By cutting an entire offensive line, Berry didn't just clean up a weak spot. He sent a rare and unmistakable message: Shedeur is not the problem, he's the solution. That kind of move is unheard of. Most front offices would tell the rookie to adapt, tough it out, or wait for better protection. Berry went the other way, holding the veterans accountable and clearing the path for Sanders to grow. It wasn't about favoritism, it was about belief. Belief that if the team gave Sanders the right conditions, his talent could actually shine. And when a GM makes a decision that bold, the pressure doesn't just land on the players, it shifts directly onto the head coach. Stefanski's pressure. If anyone had doubts about Shadore Sanders early on, it was head coach Kevin Stefanski. He wasn't exactly shy about it either. Just months ago, whenever reporters asked about Sanders, Stefanski's answers were clipped, guarded, almost dismissive. When the offense stalled, his criticism leaned toward the rookie quarterback. His body language said it all: this kid isn't ready. But now, his entire tone has flipped. Suddenly, Stefanski is praising Sanders' work ethic, his poise, and his long-term value to the team. He's not just answering questions, he's selling belief. It's a complete 180 from the man who once sounded like he wanted nothing to do with the rookie spotlight. So why the sudden change? Some say it's genuine, that Stefanski finally saw the flashes of greatness Sanders can bring, but others believe it's survival. Because when the front office clears out 5 linemen just to back one quarterback, the head coach doesn't get a choice. He either gets on board or gets left behind. For Stefanski, the stakes couldn't be higher. If Sanders develops into the star Cleveland is betting on, Stefanski looks like the coach who helped make it happen. But if Sanders fails and the team crumbles, the front office won't take the blame. Stefanski will. In other words, his future might now depend on the rookie he once doubted. And while the coach tries to adjust, the noise outside the locker room is only getting louder. Andrew Berry didn't just hit reset on the offensive line. He's been quietly redesigning the entire foundation around Shadore Sanders. From the roster to the coaching staff, Every move has started to
It's
point
gonna
in
knock
one
you down
direction,
sometimes, but
preparing the
the main
Browns
thing
for a
about it is
quarterback
you
of
just
the
gotta
future
push through it.
and making sure
There's
that
a lot of
quarterback
people in
is
this world that's
Sanders. Protection schemes are being reshaped. Position coaches are emphasizing development over quick results. Even personnel choices, from depth signings to practice reps, are aligning with a long-term plan. It's not about patching
You
holes
just
for
gotta
today,
push through it.
it's about building
There's a lot of people in
stability
this
for
world that's
tomorrow.
going through stuff,
And here's
but,
the telling part.
you know,
Joe Flacco, the
I'm
steady veteran, looks more and more like a short-term bridge. Dylan Gabriel, no matter how sharp in moments, is fighting against physical limitations and a system not tailored to his style. But Sanders, he checks the boxes front offices dream about: arm strength, size, mobility, leadership potential. He may not be fully ready, but Barry's every move says he will be. This isn't just a quarterback competition anymore. It's succession planning, the kind of methodical setup you see when an organization quietly chooses its franchise cornerstone and begins shaping everything around him. Which raises the real question: if the blueprint is already built for Sanders, then how real is this so-called quarterback battle? On paper, the Browns have a quarterback competition. Joe Flacco, the proven veteran, Dylan Gabriel, the scrappy prospect, and Shadore Sanders, the rookie with sky-high potential. But when you look closer, that battle doesn't really exist. Flacco may take the first snaps of the season, but everyone knows his role. He's the temporary bridge, the safe option until the future is ready. Gabriel is technically in the mix, but between his size concerns and a scheme that doesn't fit his strengths, he's playing against the current. And Sanders, every move the front office makes, every shift in tone from the coaching staff points toward him being the centerpiece of the plan. That's why insiders aren't buying the open competition narrative. Because when a team rebuilds protection, reshapes schemes, and clears out veterans, all while keeping one rookie untouched, that's not a battle, that's preparation. The Browns might not say it out loud, but the writing is on the wall. This isn't about if Sanders becomes QB1, it's about when. And that brings us to the most important question of all. What happens to the future of Cleveland if this gamble doesn't pay off? For all the press conferences, depth charts, and coach speak, one truth is becoming harder to ignore. The Cleveland Browns are quietly building their future around Shadore Sanders. The offensive line overhaul, the sudden shift in Kevin Stefanski's tone, the nonstop praise from analysts, none of it points to a traditional rookie trial. It points to a franchise already laying the groundwork for its next era. But here's the risk. Moves this bold rarely come without consequences. If Sanders grows into the role, Cleveland could finally have the franchise quarterback they've been chasing for decades. The front office looks like geniuses, Stefanski saves his job, and the Browns step into a new identity. If it fails, the fallout could be brutal. Jobs will be lost, faith will be shattered, and the gamble that looked so daring today could be remembered as one of the biggest missteps in team history. That's what makes this moment so fascinating. The Browns aren't just developing a rookie, they're staking their entire future on him. Sanders isn't just fighting for a roster spot anymore. He's being positioned as the player who could carry the entire franchise forward. So now the question isn't if he takes over, it's when. And whether the Browns have the patience to let him grow, or the pressure will force their hand too soon. But what do you think? Did Cleveland just make the smartest move in years, or are they setting themselves up for disaster? Should Shedeur be QB1 right now, or wait behind Flacco until he's ready? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because one way or another, this gamble is going to define the Browns' future.